Alright guys, we are back to business and we have a treat for you. We have KT Flash and he is up against a GSL player. He's up against, starting to the to the top left, he's up against Slayers Brown.
Yeah, and this is going to be pretty exciting to see. Brown is a decent player from, you know, the GOM players, if you will. It's kind of weird to say GOM players because they've only played in GOM's leagues. They've also played overseas, but it's not as if like GOM owns them or anything like that. But I guess this is the best way to call them. Slayers Brown against KT Flash, of course, from the team KT Rollster. KT being a cell phone company in Korea. In fact, the one that I use.
What made you choose this company?
Well, actually, I did a lot of research on...
They sponsor Flash.
I did a lot of research on these two companies, and it was a difficult choice, but I liked KT a little bit better. But I joked with Torch, actually, before I bought my phone. He said, well, he used SK, which is the competing company, and I said, well, if SK beats KT in the Pro League Finals, then maybe I will use SK, but turns out KT won. And I was like, well, I did the research on KT, I think I liked them better, and I chose KT.
I'm really excited about this. I want to see how Flash is going to perform here. He is up against Slayers Brown, a player that we've seen in a PvP just yesterday at the GSTL, and Flash, of course, he was able to win this first StarCraft 2 tournament for the Casper players that was held at MLG Anaheim, and let's see how he's faring against a Code. Well, Brown technically is a Code B Protoss right now.
Yeah, and MMA is still currently in Code A. He's in Code B on his team, or her B team. He's a B teamer. I'm sorry, I kept saying Code B earlier. I don't know why I said that it was a.
Oh, you said Code B?
I said that a few times for some reason by mistake, but it's not true. He's actually about to be Code S if he wins one more round.
Pretty obvious that you were just mispronouncing things and was talking about his status in the team and not in the GSL.
Yeah, and
I don't think anyone heard that.
No, I doubt it, but I actually realized I was like, oh, I think I was saying that earlier, but it's not true. Command Center first from Flash. We'll see how he gets punished. I want to, or rather, we'll see if he does get punished. Nexus is going down right now. We have seen Flash do on this map, specifically in that Kespa Invitational at MLG, the 2 Command Center after Command Center first SCV pull with a bunch of Marines to try to punish this. He's already gone up to 2 barracks. He may decide to do this, but this is cross positions. This is not close positions. It's much better for close position to do a build like this. But when a Protoss tries to cut corners with the Nexus after the Command Center goes down, you use that extra Command Center production that you have to get the SCVs out. You attack, you continue to rally Marines, and this has killed Protoss in the past. This is first used at that Kespa Invitational by Flash himself, but it's actually since then been used by many GOM TV players in GSL leagues as well. See what he wants to do here. He's adding a 3rd barracks, and it may be that he goes for this push.
This is probably one of the most exciting games that we are going to see today. This is going to be epic, guys. We have Flash against Brown. This is a best of 3, by the way, and Toon Valley is not going to be the last map. This is not a best of 1 system. We have currently another 2 refineries going down for Flash. Actually, it's the first 2 that he has at the expansion. He didn't take any gas whatsoever so far. And he's actually a pretty good counter in regards to his harvest. He's on 2 behind his opponent, so Brown did not use too many chrono boosts on his economy. He's just scouting on the map, trying to get a good look at what exactly Flash is doing. And Flash seems to be willing to rely on a lot of fire units here. Tries to catch the Stalk off guard, but well, Brown is ready. Retreats here.
Yeah, he's going into double rack or double gates before Robo.
How much do you actually think does this affect Brown right now, being up against Flash?
You know, it depends on. I don't actually know Brown's Brood War career if he even had one. I'm sure he probably did if he's on Slayers, but I don't know much about this guy, so I can't say if he, you know, trained with Flash before or if he really watched a lot of Brood War. But most people know this guy. This guy is the icon of StarCraft 1, the same way that Boxer was like 10 years ago. So, I mean, he probably, I don't know how much it's going to affect him, but he's definitely going to be thinking about it. And I bet if he wins here today, he's going to feel good about it. That's for sure. I don't think it'll stress him out too much because on one way it's like, well, I'm playing against Flash, but on the other hand, it's like I'm playing against Flash, and so therefore I probably should win since I have more StarCraft 2 experience than him. If he beats me, man, then he really is the god that everyone says he is. So it may, I mean, it's hard to say how much it'll really affect him. We're going to see a big push here from Brown with the amount of sentries he's started to build up. I can't tell you exactly how many. I would say about 5, it looks like. but I don't have my unit counter open at this moment in time, so I can't say 100%, but it looks like about 5. There's 4 just there. Cancels the forward pylon after seeing the bunkers are in play. Basically, this is a build pressure. Basically, it's there to punish someone who skips the bunkers, but Flash did not, so he immediately cancels forward pylon, double forges back at home. Flash already with his +1 on the way. He's going to be hitting one of these 2 medevac timings, perhaps.
At the same time, though, we have the double forge for Brown that will help him to catch up in upgrades and probably also get ahead of his opponent.
Yeah.
A very passive game so far in the mid-game. Of course, Flash is waiting for at least the medevac so that he can start with his aggression.
Yeah, things got scary there for a moment. Like you said, it's passive, but there was a moment where things almost got aggressive. And we saw the bunkers, he canceled the pylon. I love this flexibility that we have from our Protoss here. Pylon, or rather Observer, comes in and scouts the starport timing, so he's going to know when those medevacs are coming out. And like you said, he's going to catch up and probably pass Flash in upgrades. The 1-1 will finish probably around the same time that +1 armor finishes, so they're going to be even.
And guys, we rely a little bit on your help. We need to get the word out here that the WCS Korea Preliminaries are live right now and that we have Flash versus Brown live. On Reddit, there's currently a new thread that was posted just 31 seconds ago by Gom Snowbird. The title is WCS Korea Preliminaries Live Now, current match Flash versus Brown. Do us a favor and help us a little bit. Get on Reddit and upvote the thread. It would be really nice because I think that a lot of people don't know
they just don't know
that the preliminaries are on right now, that we have Casper players up against GSL players, and that especially Flash is playing here. So definitely get on Reddit. The post was just released a few seconds ago. You can find it under new and then help upvoting it so that people are actually aware of what is currently
exactly. Help StarCraft fans everywhere know that this is happening because this is history in the making. This is going to be something that people remember from years to come as the first time that Flash played against a GSL player. I mean, this is insane, actually. Yeah. I mean, I'm still a little bit in disbelief myself. Now, this watchtower being occupied lets him know this push is coming right now. First 2 medevacs are out. This is exactly what I described. He's got +1 lined up with this. Combat shields, however, will not be done. He only has stim and the medevacs with +1. He's already getting +2 with the armor on the way. So it looks like the 1-1 will not put him dead even on upgrades, actually, for our Protoss. How much will Flash want to commit to this without combat shields? It looks like he's actually just going to check for a third, and if it appears, he's going to try to dart in there and punish it. Otherwise, he's going to stay on the watchtower.
Flash currently with the 3 bases. We have Brown on 2. He has 1 probe over at the 3rd base and can throw it on another nexus if he wants to. We already have him on 2 Colossi. And Flash tries to be a bit aggressive here, as already pointed out by Wolf. He has the Medivacs. He's just roaming the map, trying to get into position here. But he knows also that there's no 3rd base this far. So Brown has a lot of army here, and he's now getting the 3rd base. It's a very passive game on Entombed Valley. This is one of the maps where you might be willing to hit a timing with the dropships and try to drop your opponent. But if you start with the 3rd base and even take a 4th, then this game is definitely heading towards the late game.
Yeah, it really is. I would say right now, one of the scariest players in all of Kespa's teams is Flying. Flying is one of the scariest players, and he is a Protoss. And this is, like, I would say that Flying and Brown are probably around the same skill level. And Flash played against Flying several times. Even though these teams play against each other, they do practice cross teams a lot of the time. And I'm trying to think of other Protosses who could really compare to Brown. But if Flash wins here, this is going to be pretty monumental because Brown is no pushover. It's not like he's playing against someone who's on the B team that we've never heard of, someone who just tries to go to Code A qualifiers and doesn't make it. This is Brown we're talking about here.
At the same time, we have to mention, though, that Brown, even though he was in Code S, he fell from grace really, really fast. Yesterday, he was able to come through for his team and win a PvP, which is definitely... sorry, a PvZ, actually.
Yeah.
A PvZ, which is... he won against Symbol, and he definitely came through for his team. I think I mentioned the mirror match earlier, but it was actually the mirror match that he lost. Against Terran, this is his weakest matchup. This is definitely something that we need to point out here. And he lost in Code A against Brown, against Tree, another Terran player. So he's not really all too comfortable in the matchup against Terran. Therefore, a slight advantage for Flash, at least when it comes down to this. But of course, Brown has a lot more StarCraft 2 experience than Flash does.
And Flash, coming off a recent loss in the OSL, losing 3-0 to Fantasy, who will advance to the finals. And this is going to be something that I mean, basically, he just got knocked out of StarCraft 1. Brood War just pushed him out there. Of course, he could still play in the cross match, the hybrid Pro League and Brood War potentially, but now he's basically totally focused on StarCraft 2, and his skill level is going to go up so much faster because he's not worrying about the OSL anymore. That's not something he has to practice for anymore. And in fact, no one is ever going to have to worry about this anymore. Fantasy's going to worry about it, I guess. After he took out Flash, he's got one more chance to win an OSL, but this is going to be Flash's beginning, really, today.
Yeah, Brown currently heading for the 3-3, and you're so right about it. This is the beginning of Flash StarCraft 2 career. And he won the tournament with only Casper players, of course, at MLG Anaheim, but now we have him up against a Code S player, against a GSL player. A former Code S player, yeah. But I don't really want to call Brown a Code S player, because even though he was in Code S, he just fell down in the next season and he fell back into Code B. Was able to play in the Code A once again, but then defeated by Tree. So Brown with a great matchup against Zerg, but he struggles in other matchups, and here we go now with the first fight in this game. Immediately Flash trying to take out those Colossi, is aiming for the high DPS units of the Protoss player and take down every single one of them.
Flash is gonna take out several more of these Stalkers. He won this fight very convincingly. Yes. The Viking targeting was quite nice. Now he's got the better concave here and the better army. He is ripping through, and Brown is in trouble, man. I don't know what else to say. Flash now using his Vikings to harass the third base.
Great, awesome decision here by Flash. I loved how he uses his Vikings as soon as the Colossi are gone. He kills a few of these probes and then gets out with most of them, or maybe a bit too overzealous. Loses a lot of Vikings here, but the army for Flash is just so huge.
Yeah, and he's got the concave here. He's going to target down that Colossus. Even the armor upgrades on the Colossus is not going to be enough with the Vikings targeting him down. He tries to micro.
Nice stutter step here by Flash.
Exactly. Flash ripping down that Immortal, taking out these Stalkers and Zealots that are warping in. He may be pushed back here, but the damage is quite severe. And look at this. He's already rallied at the Natural.
He's rallying unit across the map. He wants to take down this Natural. He's attacking the third. He's attacking the Natural as well. He controls the choke point here, stims in once again, and takes apart these gateway units. Flash on the move. He's up roughly 100 supply, and Brown, it looks like he's going to lose game number 1.
And it certainly does, man. Flash is on his way. GG to killing one of the first GSL players, his first victim. And I'm sure KT's pretty happy about that.
Yeah, look at this. Very well played here by Flash, legend with the legend dance.
There he is, man. He had hardly an expression afterwards either. He was like, yeah, I killed him. He's like, but it's not over yet. I gotta do part 2.
Exactly, it's not over yet. And we mentioned that Brown is currently not in Code A. He is in Code B. He played well against Symbol yesterday. But the matchup against Terran is his worst matchup. So Flash knows fully well. He's up against GSL players right now, but this is one of the early rounds in the WCS qualifier. And he has a long way to go if he actually wants to participate in the tournament.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough road for either one of these players who advances right now. But I think if we see Flash advancing, things are going to get crazy, because he will then be, I believe, 2 rounds away from getting the qualification. And Flash is someone that everyone is watching right now. I mean, this guy is, as soon as we mentioned that Flash is playing, insane amount of people jumped in here. People are getting ready. People are talking about, tweeting about, telling their mom, calling their grandma, saying, Grandma, are you watching the TV? Do you see what's going on Twitch TV? What's going on GomTV.net? You see that Flash is playing against Gom players and beating them? That's what's going on. Grandma's like, I had no idea. Let me get my glasses. She's like, that post is at the top of Reddit yet. I didn't see it.
Your grandma impersonation's awesome.
And so, there's Brown, a shot of him taking that loss to heart by drinking some Picari Sweat, trying to cheer himself up. Notice the subtle hot 6 can that Gisato is drinking.
Yeah, very, very subtle.
Very subtle, but
you
it
can
is there.
just see it. But well, guys, Protoss versus Terran. We have Flash, of course, now in the lead with 1-0. And this is going to be good. It's actually crazy to see him here. We were all waiting for the moment when we finally see him committing full to StarCraft 2 and to playing in the WCS is the first chance that he's getting. He plays in the qualifier today. He wants wants to participate in the final tournament, which is actually broadcasted by GOM TV, it will happen in August. And Wolf and myself, we will stream every single match.
By the way, I want to mention, look at the brackets, see some potential players you would like to see, and tweet at us at Caldor and at ProxyWolf, because we have some control over, or not some control, but we have some influence over which matches become broadcast. So if you tell us, which matches are most exciting to you, we may be able to make them happen. So please tweet us, ProxyWolf, Caldor, at GOM TV as well, as the GOM TV Twitter guy is here, and he's going to be reading all of those.
You can find the brackets on www.gomtv.net in the forum. There is a thread that shows the brackets as well. We can't promise you anything, but if you tweeted us, as Wolf just mentioned, we will try to make it happen. We are not at the venue right now, but we'll do our best to show you the game.